my shoes and out the door. 5, I'm alive. 6, 7, 8, feeling great. 9, gonna shine, life is good. I'm doing fine. 10, gonna do it right and do it again, yeah. I look into the sky with all its beautiful color, but there's more than just for me, so gonna share it with another. I got to show, to give, let out. I want to sing and shout. Take a look and see a beautiful morning.
Been in here and people are roaring with laughter, so.
It's a dirty showroom.
Well, it's clean dirt.
You have here the best of the best.
Yes.
So we have many celebrities here. The Harley Madison come over here, and the Usher come over here many often, and the Paris Hilton come here.
Boy, I'm dating myself, but it's okay. Nobody else will. Oh.
That's so Vegas.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
At St. Jude, a family never sees a bill at all, not one bill. It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders.
The treatment doesn't get any better than what you receive at St. Jude. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
Welcome to That's So Vegas. I'm your host, Christina Keller, here in the fabulous Las Vegas Arts District, downtown Las Vegas, Nevada. And sitting here with me in the studio is none other than the impeccably turned out George Michael and Mark Mercer. We actually, I'm really falling into this persona sitting here looking at you, and Mark's going to tell us about why we're sitting here looking at him. He's a new addition to Legends in Concert.
Very first one. 35 years, we've never had a George Michael.
That is amazing.
So, and he just debuted this month in our holiday show. And we're thrilled here in Vegas, so it's...
I've been hearing stories about it.
And it's the 1-year anniversary of George Michael passed last Christmas.
Oh, that's right.
So, it's very exciting to bring him on board, and everybody's thrilled. He gets to sing Last Christmas, it's everybody's favorite holiday song.
Of course.
As well as all of George's signature hits, does Wham! I'm sure he's going to tell you about, but we're thrilled.
I'm thrilled too. You know, truly your name is Michael Knight, and you've got other credits to your name, Michael Jackson, and a lot of other things going on. But for those viewers who might not know that much about Legends, like you said, it's 35 years
Longest
now
running show in Vegas.
Ever.
Yep.
And one of the most popular, I have to add. I mean, some come and some go.
Yeah.
But the staying power alone, just
Legends
kind of
never die, right?
it just
Well,
had to happen.
it started just as a 6-week engagement at the Imperial Palace, which no longer exists, is now the Link, as you know.
Wow.
But it was just supposed to be a trial 6-week engagement, and here we are 35 years later. And we've been in those 3 casinos, Harrah's, Imperial Palace, and then they moved us to Flamingo as part of the 30-year anniversary, and it's a historic showroom he gets to perform on. And the Donnie Murray showroom is historic. The real Frank Sinatra, the real legends in the past have gotten to perform on there, so it's kind of trippy now. It's one of the only vintage showrooms that still exists, and now to get to watch the legends kind of come back and perform, whether it's Frank Sinatra, who's in the current show with him, Whitney Houston, Elvis Presley, of course. So it's
like
great.
Absorbing something, you know, and that's pretty much true about the old showrooms here in Las Vegas. Like you said, you know, those that haven't been imploded have a lot of stories if the walls could talk.
Yeah.
So I know that you've been with Legends how long now?
10 years.
Oh.
It'll be 10 years. And George Michael is a favorite character of mine, and I'm kind of honored to get to be part of this, for him to get to debut the character on stage. It's kind of the fun thing. There's always, you know, we kind of went back to the roots of Legends recently. The original cast was, back in 1983, was all the legends had to have been passed away.
Oh.
That was the original concept of Legends, and I think the original cast had Elvis, of course, in it, but it had the others, Janis Joplin, Marilyn Monroe, Judy Garland. So it's interesting now to kind of go back to that, because for a while we would put Britney Spears or those other pop culture people that now the real ones perform here in Las Vegas.
You know, that's a good idea, because there's a younger generation, and you know, music changes, although some music I think truly is immortal and timeless, and that would be George Michael. We're going to talk to you and actually see a little clip of you performing at Legends. But how do you figure out what is going to appeal to the public? I mean, is there a formulary that you use? And also, Legends isn't just here, although it started in Las Vegas. Legends.
We're all over the world.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about other venues and really how do you know?
Well, we have permanent venues in Branson, Missouri, which is where he also has performed another character for us, Michael Jackson, which I'm sure you'll get into.
I love Michael Jackson.
And as well as in Myrtle Beach. We have a show in Waikiki on the beach there. Waikiki Beach is amazing. And we go to Foxwoods, Atlantic City, so going to Melbourne, Australia. So we have all of these different shows, and the shows that's kind of why we have so much fan base and repeat business, because everybody keeps on coming back to this brand that they know, but it's a different show every time. So if you were in Vegas last year, now you're coming to see Legends, you didn't get to see George Michael last year. Now you're getting to see a whole new lineup of characters.
Are you going to rotate Michael around?
Of course. Yeah,
So-
of course.
so you have a lot to look
He's
forward
going to be
to, a lot
traveling
of
all over.
traveling.
Yeah, this coming year. I think the key for Legends is the music and is the voices. People kind of forget that all of the music is live singing. It's all live instruments. We have a full live band. But all of these very talented tribute artists sing live. There's no lip syncing.
Right.
And in this day and age, that's kind of a rare thing.
Right, it
And,
is. I
people,
mean,
and actually, they're so good that people actually write and say, "Oh my God, were they lip syncing?" Because they're that good. But it's the live music. It's really.
you can feel the energy when you're at the show. And, unfortunately, I missed the Christmas show because I wasn't available at the time, but I'm going to definitely come see it. And there's such rave reviews, really. How does it feel to be up there being, like you had said earlier when we were chatting a bit earlier, that all the stars, Michael Jackson and George Michael, were your idols?
Yeah, they were my idols. They were people that, to me, and again, everybody has their own opinion, but to me, those two were my favorite male vocalists of all time.
Even when you were a teenager, right?
Yeah, and I just thought that if I could ever sound like either one of them, then I'm going to have a great voice. And so it's amazing to be able to take my first love being Michael Jackson and showing my take on Michael, and I try to keep it as authentic as close as possible,
Right.
due to all of my training and the people that I have admired since then. And now taking my love for George Michael, which is so different from Michael Jackson,
They're two distinct personas.
but
Yeah.
being able to sound even more like George Michael than I do Michael Jackson. And I've been trained by Michael Jackson's vocal coach. I've worked with people that worked alongside of Michael. And now taking that and bringing my love for George Michael, I mean, it's
You
a
look
blessing.
remarkably like him, and even in conversation, Mark, wouldn't you say that he's
Absolutely.
got that resonance
His-
or timbre, or there is
It's
something?
just it's a natural natural tone that he already has that comes pretty effortlessly, I think, for you.
What is your favorite song of George Michael?
Well, I would have to definitely say Careless Whisper. Definitely
Same
say
here.
Careless
Yes,
Whisper.
yeah.
It's funny because looking back and seeing like how I got into liking George Michael was like 2003 or something like that, and I was driving at the time. I was delivering pizza at Pizza Hut. And
Wish I'd have been ordering it.
Yeah, and Last Christmas came on the radio.
Oh, that's a
and
classic.
I had no idea who it was. I just thought the song was just beautiful.
It is.
And I thought whoever was the singer had this most gorgeous voice.
Right.
And I remember talking to a friend of mine, and they said, that was George Michael. And I go, who's George Michael?
And doesn't that blow your mind?
Yeah.
'Cause we're a little bit older.
Yeah.
A little bit older.
That's what,
You know? And I was like, who is George Michael? And the funny thing is the way I found YouTube, which is such a huge thing now,
Right.
and like everybody just goes to it, was because I was looking online trying to find George Michael videos.
you were
And
doing a little research.
I found YouTube, but when I heard Careless Whisper,
That did it.
I was absolutely hooked.
It's interesting. I was hooked too, and I remember I was probably your age when it first came out. I have to take a quick shout out to my sponsor, which is the Red Roof Inn on Paradise across from the Hard Rock. Pet friendly, close to the Strip and Airport. I can't believe how fast this segment went, and I can't wait to come back, so don't go away. Well, hey there. Welcome to That's So Vegas. This is our new studio in the famous Las Vegas Arts District, downtown Las Vegas. We're here to rock your world.
going to ask you how it felt to be breaking good here at the Bellagio for the National Center.
What you did.
Your last CD was My Secret Life. I wanted to ask you what your secrets were. Tune in and turn on with us in downtown Las Vegas. This is where the action is, and that's So Vegas. Welcome back to That's So Vegas. That was a great little clip there, 30 seconds of George Michael. And sitting here looking at you, I almost feel like he's come back to visit us on the anniversary, you know? Yeah. So you were, we probably weren't even born when his first hit came out. No, we kind of chuckle because we're a little bit older. And I have even like old romantic attachments to certain songs from the 70s and 80s and stuff like that. When you said Careless Whisper, that gave me goosebumps. But you first heard the Christmas song. Now that is interesting. Couple of elements there because unfortunately George Michael did die on Christmas Eve, wasn't it? Yeah. That's terrible for anybody, you know,
So
the holidays.
sad.
Yeah.
So sad. But you talk about a guy who looking really into his life and really studying it. He was really troubled. It's actually a very, very sad story if you really, you know, look into it. Finding his first love, hiding the fact, realizing that he was gay when
he kind of didn't know, which is weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Do you know or do you not know? Or
it was when he became this mega pop star, he realized that he was gay. And then he finds somebody that he falls in love with, Asamo, and then 6 months of their relationship finds out that he has AIDS.
his boyfriend.
Yes. And he was HIV positive.
But George wasn't.
George wasn't.
Oh, phew.
And he did this. He did the performance for Freddie Mercury.
Oh, I love Freddie Mercury.
And he sang "Somebody to Love,"
Queen.
which in the show I actually do my take on that outfit that he wore from that benefit. I even wear the certificate, the AIDS certificate on my jacket.
Do you do your own wardrobe, or is that supplied by Legends?
It's a mutual.
It's a mutual thing. The good thing is that for this particular character, because I went into it with the mindset of I just want to be the best, and anybody who really knew him, I would take in. Like Mark here has been a godsend to me.
And George Michael was one of your favorites.
Oh, one of my favorites, yes.
Ever.
So this has been an honor to work with him, and
it's been a great team.
Good energy.
Yeah. And I even contacted him when I told him that we're definitely doing it, and he ended up working with me. I went out even further, and I contacted a friend of mine out of California who used to be the top George Michael lookalike when George was really popular in the States. His name was Dan Gore. And he worked with me on mannerisms. Brie Lyle, who is a model, a choreographer, she also worked with me so much and really, which is my partner, and she did an amazing job and would watch me and make sure all of my movements were just right.
She's talented in her own right, too.
She's
you two
beautiful.
Are quite a pair. I can't wait to see the children.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Thank you. But everybody has been so opened arms with this.
But you're startlingly look like him, because when you walked in, then I saw you, and yet from what you were saying, your coloring and everything is not even on the same chart as that.
Yeah.
So, but in your cheekbones, your facial structure, and the way you carry yourself, and in that little video clip that we saw, so you really do like. But you also were a Michael Jackson impersonator.
So I went
originally.
Originally I was a Michael Jackson. I have done George back in 2011. In a show called The Edward Twins, amazing, 100 different stars. And I would come out and do the duet with Elton John, sing Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. And then I would run upstairs and go transform into Michael Jackson to do my Michael Jackson set. So I already was a fan of him. I already had a good understanding of where my voice could be. Mark took what I did and said, be more relaxed with it, be more of this. So
you're with legends.
He
You
took
can,
me.
you know, you're with the family.
Yeah,
exactly.
And he really, I'm serious, like I cannot thank him enough, and he really just walked me through it. Dan Gore said, okay, well, I did this, this, and this to look more like George Michael, and he had a great natural resemblance. So he taught me the makeup. And then we just drilled it, me and my partner, we drilled it and made sure everything looks perfect.
Right.
I have to darken my skin. It's funny, I always make a joke, say that I'm turning myself into a Greek god because George was Greek.
That's right.
So I have to darken my skin tone. I have to bring out features that I have, some naturally, some I have to enhance with makeup.
Yeah, but you know, you have a resonance again, and then I'm sure when you get on stage, and I just had a little visual there. How does it feel when, you know, you're all backstage? You have Marilyn, Frank Sinatra, George Michael.
Right.
I mean, are you guys in your own persons when you're backstage before you go on stage, or are you in persona? So are you backstage? I'd love to go backstage just to see
Pretty
what
fun back
the whole
there.
thing
It's,
that is going on.
It's like a reality show, right?
Oh, yeah, it is. And, you know, I do want to point out one other thing about Legends. You do pick the best. But the music, the lighting, the sets, everything is seamless and flawless, and it changes so smoothly. Have you noticed that? Like, you may be following Marilyn, but it's, you know, there's not a sharp.
Yeah,
it's
we have an incredible
smooth-
production team that puts all of our shows together. Our headquarters is here in Vegas, but we create everything here in Vegas and then send it off
out
to all the other venues as well. But it's top notch. So.
Yeah, it really is. And there you are, mingling with people who are representing, you know, icons that were probably, you know, your mom or you know, I hate to say it. Now I'm starting to say your grandmother's age. You know, before I used to go, well, your mom would know who so-and-so is. Now I'm going, well, your grandmother would know.
Yeah.
So I always feel that kind of dates me, but I'm young at heart, obviously. And I really think
Aren't we all?
Yes, I think we were blessed, though, because we really lived those legends when they were alive, and you could go see them in concerts. And on that note, back to a little bit of Michael Jackson, because he came first with you. How did you feel when he passed? Was it like having a piece of your heart ripped out? I know mine broke.
You know, my name being Michael, back when I was in high school, I graduated in 2005. So I know, since my freshman year of high school, everyone called me Michael Jackson.
MJ.
Michael came out with his Invincible album. I learned the entire routine to You Rock My World when it first came out, like premiered on TV. The next day I went to school in the black suit with the red open shirt and the bandana and the hat. And,
I bet the girls were going wild.
And learned,
the guys.
learned that whole routine. And so everyone called me Michael Jackson. So when Michael passed in 2009, people I haven't heard from in years started calling me. And then contests started showing up, and I started entering different contests. I started winning different contests and realized that I could make this to a full-time
You could carry
profession.
his legend on as well.
His legacy.
I love that. That's wonderful. We have to take a quick break. Gosh, shout out to the Red Roof Inn. I know, and to Legends, because it's one of my favorite shows really in town.
Thank
you. It is. Red Roof Inn on Paradise. They are pet friendly. They're actually nationwide, but I love the one here because they keep my show on the air. So we'll be back in just a moment with a little bit more of some Legends going on. See you in a minute.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. If you think about that, I mean, go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. And there's one thing we're focused on here at St. Jude, and that's beating this thing.
Welcome back to That's So Vegas. This is really fun, you guys. I mean, we're having all kinds of a blast from the past here with Legends, which has kept every legend alive for 35 years here in our fair city. And like you were saying, the excitement of having a George Michael. And your name is Michael. You're Michael Knight. Let's not lose track of that. But we were talking about some documentaries that we'd seen, and how well you've studied him.
Yeah.
So wouldn't you say that...
You know, learning George Michael has definitely been a challenge. You know, I had to learn an English accent, and I had to learn how to be cheeky like him.
He was a bit cheeky, wasn't he?
Cheeky.
He was very cheeky.
I love that word too, cheeky. It just like sums it up.
Some of the greatest compliments I get is when I'm doing the show, is I'll keep the English accent up. I don't break it, and people come up to me and go, George, my mother loved you. My mother loved you. And she came up to me and she gave me a big hug and she goes, I've seen George twice in concert and you're exactly like him. You sound like him and you look just like him. I love you so much. And she gave me a big hug. And then people go, are you really English? Are you really English? Is that your real accent? And I go, no, it's not. No, it's not at all.
There goes
Then you ruin it for them.
Yeah. I said it one time and they were like, I said, no, I'm not. I'm actually from Rhode Island. It's next to Boston. I'm from America. And I watched their face go from, to, So then somebody asked me again, and they go, "Are you English?" I go, "Yes, I am. Yes, I am from the UK." And they go, "Oh, really? Wow, he's from English. He's from England too." So
was it hard to? You know what I think it
You
would
should
be
do George
harder?
with the Boston accent.
Yeah. Go park your car in the parking lot.
That's right.
Where's my car keys?
Yeah, very like that.
Wicked awesome.
Yeah, with my name Mark. Oh, you don't. I went to school in
Mark.
Boston and it was
Mark.
Mark.
Yeah, you probably got tired of that. Do you think it's harder to like say? I've had British guests. I've been to the UK. I think it's easier to pick up their accent than for them to broaden to get, to a Yankee accent.
yeah.
Oh, I agree.
Wouldn't you? Yeah.
Because to me, I think the English accent's just beautiful.
It is,
It
it's
just.
lovely.
It really is just a beautiful.
So clipped and precise.
Yes, it's very pretty. For us, we're kind of lazy. So so we drop our R's or we don't enunciate really well.
Correct. Yeah.
So learning the English accent, I think it just sounds classier and it makes the illusion more.
Michael Jackson was very articulate. Did you notice that when he spoke? He was very crisp. I mean, he was very, like you said,
He
you do
was.
that sweet little voice that he was so sweet.
But the thing about Michael, and this is what some people lose when I hear impressions of Michael Jackson, which on camera would be kind of funny, me doing Michael Jackson's voice. But
It's quite all right.
But I'll
Dressed as George Michael.
You're with friends and family.
George dresses George
But
Michael.
George would
Legends
love it,
mashup.
and Michael would love it. I have no
That's
doubt.
true. So
George Michael.
Michael's voice, he had a southern accent. A lot of people just think Michael Jackson had a high voice. If you listen to people try to do impressions, they go, "Hi, I'm Michael Jackson. I'm Michael Jackson." Michael never sound like that. Maybe when he would sing certain songs, he would go
he had
into
a
his falsetto
beautiful-
high
yes.
register, like a Human Nature, and he's oh, why. It's just this really high, pretty timbre. But when Michael actually talked, if he was talking in like the Thriller era, his voice was very high, but he had a slight nasally tone. So, Michael's voice was kind of like this. It was almost like a whisper. And but as he got older, his voice more changed, more got deeper, but he still kept that slight southern accent.
Interesting. I never
So-
would have thought that.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean,
Yeah.
that's quite.
Now you're
something I
tripping
never-
people out. You're doing
I
Michael
know.
Jackson
That's
dressed
quite
as
all
George
right.
Michael.
People love to be tripped out, but
Then there's like certain little words, like if you listen to how Michael ends his phrasing, it's very different than George. George is just, he had a very soft tone. He didn't really have one of those voices that you go, that's George Michael's. He had a very soft voice, so when he would talk about anything, about Wham or any of that, you could hear his English accent, but it wasn't so predominant that you go, oh, that must be George Michael. With Michael Jackson, he has certain phrasing. That's good. Yeah, it's real sweet. It's very loving. It's very charming.
you're right. Those were very indicative of him and his character. So, two great legends lost, into the mist of time. But if we didn't have legends in concert,
To bring back musical
to bring
memories.
back
That's
the
really what it
musical
is.
memories. And again, I want to reiterate for those of you who haven't seen it, you really have to go see the show, especially now that you're there. That's really a great add-on.
Yeah, the
I
holiday
think.
show is now through the end of the year. We invite high school choirs and youth dance groups to come and perform. They get a chance to perform on the historic stage, which is great.
That is great.
And we have a great locals offer,
Right.
$35 if you bring your Nevada ID to.
Yeah, that is a good deal.
Yeah.
So, and it's not limited. You could bring the whole group and get the $35. if you have an
Absolutely.
event.
Yep.
Our time has flown. This is just crazy. But I feel like I've been blessed with a little bit of some Michael Jackson and some George Michael. And you wear them both very well.
Thank you. Thank you. I have a lot of love for both of them.
I can tell that. You really, really dug deep to find out a little bit more about them than just the surface and the voice.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see you do the moonwalk, but maybe another time.
Well, come see the holiday show.
I'm definitely coming. I'm
It's
going to
now
put
through
it
the
all
end of
over
the year,
Facebook
so
too
yes.
when I'm going. So thank you so much,
No,
Mark,
thank you
your
for having
time.
us. I appreciate it.
It's just a pleasure. Anything to promote Legends in Concert. It's one of the best shows in town.
Thanks.
Thank you, and I'll be seeing you on stage. I hope I get a good
Sounds
seat so
good.
I can
Absolutely.
wave at him.
VIP.
I love that. On that note, I'm going to wave at my viewers, and I'll see you next week. I'm Christine McKellar. Merry Christmas to all. Happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa, whatever trips your trigger. Just have a good time, be safe this time of year, and I'll see you next week, because that's so Vegas. I'm Christine McKellar with this week's latest Vegas entertainment updates. Official hotel sponsor for the National Finals Rodeo NFR, The Plaza is hosting downtown's first and only practice arena and stalls presented by Heel-O-Matic. Team roping practice is held daily through December 16th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Rope for the World Kids Dummy Roping Championships will take place December 14th through the 16th from 10 a.m. to noon. Free to the public, the Cowboy Christmas Show at the Las Vegas Convention Center is a shopper's paradise, attracting more than 400 exhibitors from the United States and Canada and selling everything from Western wear to original art to official Wrangler, NFR, and PRCA merchandise that runs through December 16th. Under the Street Lamp will perform classic holiday hits from the American Radio's Songbook at the Orleans Showroom on Friday and Saturday, December 22nd through the 23rd at 8 p.m. The quartet will deliver an evening of doo-wop, Motown, old-time rock and roll, and best-loved songs from groups including the Drifters, the Beach Boys, the Beatles, and Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Tickets start at $32.95. The park at T-Mobile Arena is featuring an 80-foot silver fir tree, daily visits from Santa Claus, an ice skating rink, a holiday shopping and dining village, and special events. Ice skating is $15 or 2-for-1 pricing for locals, plus a printed photo with Santa Claus for $25. There are specialty chalets including Hershey's, Dapper Donuts, Spa to Go, and Spin Art. The Link Promenade is transformed into holiday magic through December 30th with nightly snowfall. During the week, Monday through Wednesday, carolers perform at 6, 7, and 8 p.m. Thursday through Sunday, a winter show will feature holiday performers at the top of every hour from 6 p.m. through 9 p.m. Boulder Station will feature Christmas with the Celts in the Railhead on Friday, December 22nd at 8 p.m. The show presents a combination of ancient Irish carols, contemporary Christmas standards, humor, and Irish dancing. Tickets for the all-ages show range from $15 to $30. There are so many fun holiday events this month, you really need to visit VegasOnlyEntertainment.com for listings and details. Merry Christmas, I'm Christine McKellar, and that's So Vegas.
1, 2, 3, 4, get my shoes and out the door. 5, I'm alive. 6, 7, 8, feeling great. 9, gonna shine, life is good. I'm doing 5, 10, gonna do it right and do it again, yeah.